Hello and welcome, guys, to Race 5 here at SRA at Laguna Seca, Division 1 silver and gold. We're in for a really good race today. Fair weather in the middle of the day, nothing tricky today, but this track is very tricky. Catches a lot of cars off guard, catches a lot of people off guard. And we've also had a bit of a busy week here at SRA with all of our other stuff going on. So maybe some people didn't get as much practice as they think they should have. So we're in for a really interesting race. I'm Paulie Hartman. I'm joined here by Josh Damiani and Mike Maselli, and we're with the cameras today. So this is everyone's looking really epic. Everyone's got their spirit on. I got my Toyota shirt. Unfortunately, there's no Toyotas in here. Josh, you got your Aston shirt. Is that Aston F1 shirt? Looking
Uh,
really sharp. And Mike, you got to step up the team spirit here. Okay, there you go, You got the hat,
Hey,
okay.
it's classic. It's so the people know I'm not just some bandwagon.
But yeah, we're in for a really good race today, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. And Mike, if you wouldn't mind going and looking at the YouTube chat and seeing if we have any call outs for, is anyone thinking who's going to win the race today? Any people that we want to take a look out for here during qualifying, or is there anything going on in chat yet?
Let's take a look. Hey, what's the action looking like on track, Josh?
so far, our main camera's got a eye on, I believe it's Ian Krieger, showing out for his first race here with SRA, but he's been around in racing for quite a while. He was actually part of the original Discord this league formed from, and he's stepping over to try and make his splash in the GT3 challenge. And the pip's looking at Mr. Allen, who's currently coming into the pits
Yes.
after setting himself in 16th, because we are flipping over in qualifying from the silver drivers to the gold drivers.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, speaking of the gold drivers, going back to the chat there, we actually have a Doug for podium. So
All
that's
right.
the only prediction we have at the moment. So that's where we're rolling with right now. Doug for podium.
Well, we heard
Well,
from a lot of drivers before the race, and not a lot of people were very confident, including Mr. Doug himself. So that's the inside scoop on that. We're gonna see how everyone navigates this track. Like I was saying before, it's a very tough one, and um, yeah, it's not a lot of people very confident. I think Josh, didn't you say that the best was a 7 out of 10 on the confidence scale?
yeah, so before the race, I did go into the voice channels and do a little bit of snooping around and asked everybody to rate their confidence on a scale of 1 to 10. And a vast majority of drivers came in below a 5, and one driver said they're at a 7.5. So let's keep a little lookout from Mr. Fazli Majid this week and see what he can do. He's got a lot of pace in that Aston. I believe he's actually consistently the fastest Aston driver in the league. So see where he can put it.
Yeah, so definitely going to be. Might be one of those races where we see a little bit of a grid shakeup. Is Matt Lehman in here today? That is the big question.
I believe word around town is Matt Lehman is racing this week, as I do see him in 29th here.
Ooh, okay.
Just coming out on an outlap into the last hairpin in the pip. Going
All right.
extra wide to get a nice long run.
So I'm going to take a look at someone who's really down on their delta here. Warden. All right, so Mr. Warden, he's looking really good. He's like as I've said before, he's a new driver in this season here, and he's really made a name for himself. And he's one of those people who really has a chance to actually bring it home. So that's someone we're going to take a look at. as he sets a
23-2,
yes, a
putting him
20.
in 4th place.
Nice.
And as he sets that time, a quick glance up the board, that's a 22-7 from Matt Schwartz in pole, as he very quickly gets jumped by Mr. Riley by almost a 10th. But I was going to make the point, the only silver driver to break into the 22s. So that could be a standing point for his hopes in their championship.
And it would be really nice to see Matt Schwartz make a splash here today. From what I remember, he hasn't had the greatest season so far, but he's looking really good here today. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a shakeup. Looking at our standings on our website, simracingalliance.com, go visit it, check it out. It's super awesome, super cool. But there's a lot of surprises. A lot of people who are in lower divisions setting insanely fast times. A lot of people who are in higher divisions setting not so insanely fast times. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting. This track's caught a lot of people off guard.
That's sort of the double-edged sword of Laguna Seca. Like, it's a very flowy track with a mix of high speed, low speed, a little bit of hairpin, and everybody's favorite turn 8, the corkscrew. And if you can find that little bit of groove that there is in the road where you can ride the cambers and use the rubber of the road, you can pick up a lot of time. But if you can't find it, it's very hard to drive this track fast. So it's kind of anyone's game, but I'd still point to our favorites. As you pick up on actually my favorite on the main cam this week, I'm looking out for Mr. Fembers Cassis. He's been passively flaunting his race pace, which seems to be in the low 22s.
Yeah, he's
So-
looking really good around here.
I think it's going to be less a question of is Matt Lehman racing and more a question of what lap time can Matt Lehman do.
Yeah, it's true. As we see here, he sets a 122.8.
22-0.
So Matt Lehman's definitely got some time to pick up here to be where he wants to be. Matt Lehman is definitely looking at taking home a championship this season, and he's well on his way to, with some great performances so far. But another championship contender, where's Mr. Quigg? Is he here today? Yeah, he is here.
Yep.
He just has not set a time yet. So I'm going to hop over to him, take a look at what he's doing in the Blind Hen Racing Porsche. Fantastic looking livery, by the way.
There's a lot of awesome liveries in this league. We've been flip-flopping on services for our liveries this year, as some that have worked before have not worked in the past. So
Yeah, and
as this season goes on, hopefully we'll have a full grid worth of liveries. But for now, unfortunately, still some all carbon fiber menacing black cars.
Yeah, so, and my apologies towards those people who do not have their livery shown in here. I have yet to update with our new system here. I know, I'm sorry. But we've been working on it, and we've been talking about it, trying to get this all straightened out. It's not quite as easy as it may initially seem, but we're trying to get it worked out. Seems to be some glitches with our previous system, especially seemingly when we got the sheer amount of liveries, because it's nearly every single team has their own livery here in this league. A lot of creative people, a lot of people putting in a lot of hard work and time and effort into their livery, and there's just too many, I guess. But we want to make sure that everyone gets their seen, and I think it's really unfortunate that hasn't really been working out so far. As we see Mr. Quigg spin off here, it doesn't appear he's been getting a very good time here for his first half of the qualifying out here. He is a second and a half off the pace, a little more than a second and a half. We'll see how much further he can put it up here.
If Fembers Casas is just running away with this pace right now, like a 21.9, excuse me? I don't think I've seen anybody do a 21 at all yet, call it a 9, like barely, but still. It's a 21. That's
Hardcore
fast.
alien territory.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The Hondas seem to love this track. We got an all Honda podium right now.
Yep.
Oh my
1, 2,
goodness.
3.
Yeah.
And they're a tenth and a 1.1 tenths off of the car behind, which is a Mercedes. Coincidentally, for a little bit of track knowledge to fill the time here, this year, the same Mercedes that Mr. Bellinger is driving set the GT3 lap record, or race lap record, on this track. Can either of you guess what that lap record would be?
I'm going to take a shot at 121.3.
I'm gonna say
Optimistic.
121. Yeah, I'm gonna say 121.6.
You guys are optimistic. A 124.479.
Really?
Oh,
Man.
That is the fastest race lap record.
So basically what you're saying is GT3 teams, take a look at the Sim Racing Alliance League because there's a lot of talent here. Just nix all the people who are driving the real cars and just bring in Sim Racing Alliance, give them the real cars, and they'll show you a real race.
Who needs to pay money to have this fancy driver academy when you can just have SRA?
Yeah, I know. Like, you know, they're doing all this, like, recruiting and, you know, people are working themselves up through the ranks. Just look at Sim Racing Alliance. You'll find all the best drivers there.
yep.
Exactly.
All aliens.
Now, if you think these guys are fast, during the after this race, I encourage everybody to go to YouTube. Well, you're already here. Go to that search bar and look up Marc Genet, 2012 lap record at Laguna Seca.
Whoa. Hold up. Open a new tab first, okay? Don't be clicking off of us. Okay?
No. I encourage if you go now, that's a thumbs down from me. I encourage you to go after the broadcast, but it is definitely worth your time because that is fast. I'm not even gonna tell you the time. You can find out later.
It's fast. It's fast.
Yeah, I'm sorry to those watching the broadcast looking at the pip and seeing that it's like at 4 frames per second. It's improving now. I think I might have fixed it. We'll see though. I'm gonna monitor that during the race. But my computer.
I do apologize. I was also using heli.
Yeah, my computer is trying to tap out right now. It's saying, "God, why? Please, no more. Help me!" Screaming in the background.
Take it. I
Yeah.
can't take it.
And as far as the graphics quality goes here as well, it's not the best, but we're trying over here, okay? As Suniga goes back out onto that tricky pit road, take a look at this pit road right here because this is going to be something that's going to catch some people off. You know, you might see someone into the dirt there, spin around. You know, when the tensions are high and everyone's on edge during the race, trying to get out there as fast as possible, beat the person in front of them off the line. It's going to be a little bit of a wrench.
A little bit, and from the practice race last night, it kind of seemed that the start and when those cars are bunched up together is one of the only places you can safely make up positions. It's a very tough track for overtaking, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle that mix of this is my real chance to try and make up ground, and I need to be as safe as possible.
All right, with
Very
only
fine line between those two decisions.
with only
And
2
that's
minutes,
wheel-to-wheel racing.
With only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left for the qualifying, I want to go over real quick about who we have here. Fimbres Casas, who has a 121.9, the best lap right now. Jay Riley with a 122.08 in second place. Travis Nordstrom with a 122.4. Suniga 122.5. Bellinger with a and actually this got moved around a little bit. Yeah, Patrick Rust actually just took 4th place while I was speaking with a 122.5. Suniga also with a 122.5. They are 2/100ths apart from each other. So very, very interesting. And so that's our top 5 for our gold division. And looking at our silver division, Matt Schwartz with an absolutely fantastic qualifying, sitting real pretty with a 122.7. He's first place for silver. D Funk, who has a 123.0. Josh Arnold with a 123.2. Krager with a 123.2. And Jeffries with a 123.3. So that's our top 5 from both divisions there. Looking really good so far, and I think my predictions and what we're talking about before is correct. Matt Lehman set his fastest lap just now with a 122.3, so he's worked himself up to 3rd place. But still, this is Matt Lehman we're talking about. He's a first place kind of guy, so definitely going to be interesting to see how he navigates the first bit of this race here. See if he can get himself out and ahead and pace out like he wants to. And he's also disrupted the top 3, the pole Hondas there. So he's gotten in between them. Yeah, Nordstrom, come on, man. You gotta
Yeah, he's
put it up for the Hondas, man.
He's currently 4/10 and falling down on his lap time. Actually, currently making up ground. Looks like he's found some luck somewhere, but I don't think there's anybody who's gonna touch Fimber, to be honest. Like I said, like I don't think I've seen anybody else do a 21 in the servers or on the board, unless my memory evades me. But like Mr. Lehman's in the pits now. There's not much time left. There's no time left. Bada bing, bada boom.
Got some racing to do.
All right.
You got it.
And so that is the end of our qualifying session. As drivers finish their final laps here and work themselves around, looks like Suniga and Arnold have the same pit stall, interestingly.
Kind of a little close team relationship there.
Well, if they were teammates, that would be nice. Audi team relationship there.
Who knows?
Maybe they
Who
will be
knows?
teammates. Maybe you've called it. Crazy Rabbits Racing, right? And the Flying Aces combining. You've heard it here first, folks.
Flying Rabbits.
Flying Rabbits. You even got a team
Bada
name
bing,
for it,
bada
man.
boom.
Come on.
You've got it. I'll take $25 for that name, by the way, boys.
Yeah, you're going to need a paycheck. And Fimbers Casas just elects to put it right into the pits. Short pit entrance. You got to definitely practice this one a little bit. And if you overshoot it, there's a chance that you can run into the tire wall there and give yourself a whole ton of damage. Talking to you, Hesham Rimzik, who did that in the practice server last night. It's quite funny. Yeah, so our qualifying grid is set. Let me go back in here. Boom. Gotta wait for this to start.
Here comes the lineup. All right.
There we go. All right. Boom. Boom. All right, we're all set now for the race. So our lineup is Fimbers Casas in first, Jay Riley in second, Travis Robinson Robinson in third, Matt Lehman in fourth, Nordstrom in fifth, Bellinger sixth, Patrick Rust in seventh, Saniga in eighth, Vicini ninth, Durant in 10th. Trying to find a good cam here. None of them are working.
Durant
Okay.
pulled himself up
Yeah.
pretty late in qualifying there from I think P29. Hustled that Porsche to P10. So let's see what he can do during the race.
And just for a little bit of information, the pip took a second there and looked at somebody who is already in the pits. That would be Dave Taflovich, serving his second consecutive start from the pit lane, unfortunately.
Good old Dave Taflovich.
You play games, you win prizes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fill in the blanks.
I did not see the incidents myself, but yeah, you fill in the blanks.
Dave Taflovich is our resident menace here, but I hope to see him be less of a menace and actually start from the pit lane or not from the pit lane rather, because he's a very fast driver, and we want to see out there, man. You can't be working yourself up from the back every race.
Not everyone needs a Sergio Perez win.
Got some good pace though, really good pace.
So some interesting notes here. Dom Duran, insanely fast driver, is in 15th. Douglas Mitchell in 16th. Josh Arnold, one of our fastest silver drivers who qualified third for the silver division here in 19th place, starting out. Tyler James in 24th. Evan Kim in 27th. Victor Diaz, 31st. Bradley Busick, 33rd. Latufo in 35th. Jess Osborne in 39th. And Toledo bringing up the rear in 41st. But I would not count any of these drivers out. They all are very fast. They wouldn't be here if they weren't very fast. So you can count on some interesting racing happening all throughout the grid here as we make our way onto our outlap. And as a reminder for those who don't play in this game, simulator rather, you can phase through cars on the outlap here, so don't be concerned. No one's wrecking themselves out before the race even starts. That would be a shame. Let's get out of hell.
Definitely. Part of me wishes that we did have that there was a way to turn on or have contacts
It would
during
be
the
chaos. It would be total chaos.
But I don't know, it just helped with that extra step of immersion as the pip season. Aston Martin currently driving inside of one of our admins. If pass equals ban, what does drive through equal?
Promotion.
I guess.
Whoa. Speaking of admins, there's one pulled off onto the side of the track here. What's going on? Who was that? Was that Tyler? That might have been Tyler. Very interesting. I don't know what he was doing. He's catching back up at the grid here. Might be changing some settings. I don't know. Maybe his wheel disconnected.
It is sometimes tough to do that while driving. I don't know how those F1 drivers do it.
Well, they have a full crew behind them telling them exactly what buttons to push, so...
Still got to do it while driving up 200 miles an hour.
Easy peasy. Come on. Oh, as Tyler overshoots the corner, goes over the gravel. Oh, Tyler, buddy, come on.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Did he stall the car?
He's stopped again.
Oh, no.
This is some drama. Oh, no! Oh, my gosh. And as he heads back to the pit stall. Oh, my goodness.
He probably teleported for being too far back. The race is ready to get started.
Someone must have talked inside of his Discord.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try to catch the front of the grid here as you catch the back, as we're going to head on to the front here, passing the start-finish. And we're off and away for SRA. Look at that. Super tight as people go over the hill here, come down into T1. This turn has a lot of lines that you can take inside, outside, and you can still be fast here. As everyone that I see seems to make it through. A couple people lose positions here. Actually, is a scoring error. It looks like Tyler James has taken first place, according to our scoreboard, but that is not true. All right. I don't know bumps quite yet. A lot of tight racing here, though.
Everything seems fairly clean throughout the grid so far, but a lot of wheel-to-wheel choices in corners that I would not want to do that in. The beauty of Division 1.
Oh my goodness. Looking at the picture-in-picture there, he's got quite a few people side by side.
Fun fact, that is Evan Kim in 35th that the camera is focusing on, so battles all the way through the grid.
As the lead cars go through the corkscrew here.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, look at that picture-in-picture. Great view you've captured there of all those cars going through the corkscrew at once. Fimbres Casas taking it out ahead. He's built a 0.5 second gap to the car behind, which is Riley.
As we see a couple of yellow flags behind Daehee Yoon and Mr. Sanchez himself falling back. Let's see if we can get a replay. Oh, they come together coming down from the corkscrew.
This Riley looks like he overshoots himself just a little bit there and loses some time to Fimbres Casas. I'm sure he's celebrating in his cab right now. Matt Lehman, 0.3 seconds back to Robinson here. He's looking to get ahead early and see if he can chase down Fimbres Casas and Riley.
Looking on board with T. Robinson, or should I say Fernando Alonso, who looks like he's forming a little bit of a train behind him, falling 2.5 seconds behind Riley. I feel like you just said that.
I believe I did.
Look at that. And that's what happens when you look away and answer a text message. You don't focus.
Full focus.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Full focus required here at streaming for SRA.
You got it. Can somebody...
Matt Lehman looking to make the move on Robinson as he takes him in the last corner. Puts himself in third place, but he's got... Robinson looks to try to capture that back again. He does not have that straight line speed advantage that the McLaren has, but he's still making it happen. Sticking on the inside of Lehman here as they come into T1. Lehman can still come around him on the outside. He might do it. He might do it. Can't make it happen as Robinson pulls ahead and Matt Lehman has to file in behind. But that's given a good chance for the drivers behind, Nordstrom and Rust, to catch up. Now look at this train here. This is everyone competing for the third position. The top two drivers here, Casas and Riley, have gained a almost 5 second gap to Robinson and the cars behind. They're feeling really happy right about now. But he's holding up this huge train of people who are all begging to get past. Matt Lehman is bumping on his back bumper here, saying, "Come on, dude, let me pass, let me pass. Let me at him, let me at him." That's what he's saying right now.
And if you just look in the background, there's a train of, I don't even know how many cars that are catching up fairly quickly. I mean, you said there was a gap, but the gap looks like it's shrinking as they're already on the back of the train as they come into the corkscrew. Look at that.
As Bradley Busick goes into the pits. I'm not sure what happened there.
Choice.
We've lost Duran.
We've lost Duran.
Duran is off and falling rapidly.
Duran,
25 spots down.
Where is he?
After a little incident, looked like he had a bit of snap, hit the wall, and couldn't get on track for a little while. Nursing it right now through the corkscrew.
So
Just
That's a
after
shame.
we switch off, Matt Lehman makes the move and is finally past Robinson for P3.
Mike, would you mind taking a look at the stream and telling me how it looks? OBS is telling me I'm dropping frames like crazy.
Stream, it does look like you're dropping a couple frames here and there. And it is jarring and stuttering.
Okay, we're gonna have to nix the cameras, boys. We might.
Yeah.
We can try to get this started again at the end, but it's gonna have to go for now.
Yeah, of course.
Indubitably.
All right. Hopefully that improves for you guys. I'm very sorry about the technical issues here. We're trying to make it work. Always trying to improve here at SRA. Add in the cameras so you can see our beautiful mugs while we're broadcasting, but it might have been too much for old Bessie here. As we see Fimbres Casas, he's sitting very comfortably in the lead. Look at that gap behind Fimbres Casas and Riley here. 7 seconds to Matt Lehman, who, while I was not paying attention, has overtaken Robinson. It has gained a 1 second gap on him. So he's looking to chase down Riley and Casas, saying, all right, got past him. Time to put my head down and get some laps in. And that's what Mr. Lehman does best. But we still have Rust and Nordstrom, who are knocking on the back door of Mr. Robinson, trying to get past too. They want to join Mr. Lehman, sit in his wake. They know he's fast, so they want to try to get up there as well. There's a 0.2 second gap from Nordstrom to Rust, and Bellinger and Vicini not too far behind, also looking to make some moves and capitalize on any of the battling going on up here. As Bellinger sticks it on the inside of Rust and makes the overtake, as they're side by side right now. And it looks like Bellinger makes the move as Vicini knocks on the back door of Mr. Rust. Has to actually fall back a little bit to avoid punting him. Oh, it looks like we were about to have a 2-wide situation going in to the corkscrew, but that Porsche of, who is that? Durant's thought a little bit better of that.
Pushing him hard. Holy Mackinac.
As we see Schwartz in the picture go down the inside on Arnold at the corkscrew. Very clean, no contact, but wow, what a choice of corner. And what a move. As he looks to chase down his teammate, it's just in front of him.
Mike, would you mind taking another look at the stream and tell me how it looks again?
Frames are alright. Quality is down.
Okay.
Cannot see the times.
Alright, well, I guess that's better. Looks like...
It's not bad.
Okay, good. Bellinger, Rust, Vicini, Durant's, Suniga, Warden, Cleansing are all in a very tight gap here. As we see this little train come around the corner here, it actually looks like Vicini has fallen back a little bit. Everyone seems to have been pacing themselves out just a little bit as we go into the corkscrew.
Effiak down in 18th. He's got a nice 9-car train behind him right now.
Let's take a look at that.
Pushing at each corner. It's incredible.
Stefiak and Schwartz, 2 teammates here, are looking good.
Saniga goes off in the picture-in-picture.
Oh, no.
Gonna put a little replay there.
Ooh, new position.
Unfortunate case of trying to brake on the sand.
It's brutal. The sand here, it's unlike a lot of the grass. Oh, man, he winds up in that wall that I was talking about before with that pit entrance. That is very, very unfortunate. But the sand here, if you get one tire off, it doesn't matter. You're going around or you're spinning. It is very hard to control it once you're off track here. And
it's kind of deceiving too, like from a driver perspective, coming into like the exit curb of a corner, sticking a wheel or two into the sand, you almost don't feel it at first. It doesn't make the car bog down that much, and then you get confident and all of a sudden the car sweeps out from under you.
Yep, it is quite brutal here. Definitely different to some of the other tracks where, I mean, you don't want to be in the grass, you don't want to be in the gravel, but, you know, if you play your cards right, it won't be the end of the world for you. Here, you're done. As Stefiak falls back a little bit from Schwartz.
Oh no.
Oh.
In the corkscrew as well.
Saniga.
And
now his hood is up, and he's going to need to take this back to the pits, see if he can get this fixed. Come on, Saniga. Keep your head down. Yep. Oh, he's catching the angle of all the drivers coming down the road. Yeah, keep your head down. Get into the pit lane. Get that damage repaired now. It's still early in the race. You can still possibly make some points here. So we're going to stay tuned on Saniga and See what else we see from him. As Durance has a 0.3 second gap to Vicini. These two have been duking it out quite a little bit. This pack of cars has been looking really solid.
He has quit.
Ooh,
Oh no.
that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, he teleported back to the pits and gone.
That is a
Everyone, yeah, can we get
unfortunate showing.
can we get an F
Big
in the
F's in the
chat?
chat.
Yeah, lots of F's in the chat for Mr. Saniga.
Big F's in the chat for this week's coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Mr. Saniga can hop in and tune in for the rest of the race here as we're broadcasting. As look at this little train coming down the front stretch. All these cars are less than half a second off of each other as they're going to bunch up here in the first corner. No moves to be made.
As the pip catches up with Dominic Duran, looking to fight his way back through the field. Currently in 36th on the back of Lotufo for 35th, and makes the move at the last corner.
Ooh, but he's got a bad exit. Is Lutufo going to overtake him here? They're side by
Is that a bad
side.
exit, or is that an Aston Martin?
Maybe a little bit of both. But he can still
Who's got
stick
the
it
better
around on the
brakes?
outside.
No.
No, he doesn't.
Looking for the
Ooh,
switchback
but
down the
Lutufo goes
inside.
wide. Ah,
And that,
beautiful.
that right there is racing IQ, ladies and gentlemen.
And when
Not
you're
to say
someone,
that Lotufo does not have any or has less than another, as we catch an incident just in front of
Ooh.
this. Oh my.
Is that Dahy? Oh no.
It looks to be Dahy and Josh Allen, who's currently sideways on the track. Let's catch a replay of that. Aw,
It looks
I
like,
don't have it.
yeah.
It's too far back. But not necessarily, the point I was trying to make was not necessarily going for your move on every corner, but knowing when and how to place your move on a corner. Oh, as he collects the wall again, and it looks like he may opt for a teleport to pits. Yep.
Yep. That's pretty rough. Hopefully he gets his damage repaired and he makes it back out there.
We weren't kidding when we said this track was unforgiving.
Very unforgiving indeed. As I'm taking a look at Colin Matyak, Taylor Carter, and Michael Jeffries, all in a pretty tight pack here. Once again, less than half a second off of each other. All sitting behind Mr. Josh Arnold there, leading this little train. All very fast drivers here, very similar in pace. This is going to be definitely an interesting battle to see play out here. As Jeffries is getting really close in behind here in that beautiful BMW there. He's going to be looking to make a move. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done on this little kink, but will he be able to outbrake him in this corkscrew that's coming up?
Getting ready to look like he's making a move.
So catch the bumper cam. No move being made, as it looks like he falls back just a little bit from Taylor Carter. A lot of people who have just found a spot and are just sticking there. But this is still very early on in the race. 45 minutes left. A lot of racing to do. Maybe some of these people are thinking about tire wear and trying not to be too aggressive and keeping their deck of cards hidden till the end of the race.
Yeah, tires are going to be a tough one in this race. I know, again, during the practice race, around the end of that half-hour mark, the tires did feel like they were starting to get away from me, and it's sometimes a little bit of tire wear itself, and sometimes just heat management. It's a very hot day out in California today, and it's gonna pull on the tires no matter how gentle you drive them. So it's tough. A little bit of unavoidable heat on those tires.
Let the track that hot, you know, 35 degrees Celsius. That's enough to make even the best tire manager kind of scream a little bit.
as the battle from Jeffries and Carter here has caused Taylor Carter to fall back from Colin Matyak here. He's got a second gap to Colin in front, but Michael Jeffries still let himself be known as he makes the pass. Oh no. Yes, he makes the pass. He gets it done. He's rocketing down the front stretch here. He definitely secured it. Great pass. As looks like Krager and Matt Schwartz are duking it out, going side by side, trading back and forth positions. Gotten in between the teammates. Will there be a team call here of the old team Porsche sandwich? One car hits its brakes where the other one hits its accelerator, knock him out of the race. That'd be interesting.
Slow it down, bud. Oh, looks like he wants to make a move.
And he's darting left and right. Now Porsche not the fastest on the straight. You can definitely catch up with it a little bit, but as we come into this hard braking zone, it's really going to shine. As people go into the corkscrew here. No moves to be made, but still a very close gap between these drivers. And Colin Matyak makes it around Josh Arnold. Let's see if I can catch that. How's this? Oh, and he goes off here.
Ooh.
Yep. Loses the position, but keeps it together.
The amount of elevation and the amount of elevation change in this track is probably one of my favorite and a lot of drivers' favorite parts about this track. And that corkscrew drops an amazing 59, almost 60 feet from apex to apex.
Which, I mean, it's...
Think about that. You take a left turn off of your street, and all of a sudden you go down 60 feet in height, and you gotta take a sharp right. Now do it at full speed.
That's bad.
What? These guys have quite a lot of confidence going through there at the speed that they do. Hopping onto that bumper cam to see that drop.
Yep.
It's insane. It's a roller coaster.
And even the parts that are not the corkscrew still have a ton of elevation change all throughout the track. Makes this one of the more interesting ones, more unique tracks in ACC. Not a lot of people's favorite, though, because of how unforgiving it is.
It demands a certain level of finesse to find the fastest lines. You're playing with the track limits, the very edge of the curbing to try and get that smooth arc through corners. We see Russ go down the inside there. Hopefully he can hold it. Tries to go around the outside again.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this wheel-to-wheel racing. How long will this go on?
Oh man, as he
backs out and
yep.
Almost concedes the position to Vicini.
Uh-oh.
Some opportunistic driving from him in the Ferrari. He
Hey,
makes it
right
stick around the outside. Strong acceleration catching that curve there.
And now
Any
it looks
earlier in that stand.
Durant's behind Russ, smells blood in the water, and he wants a piece of the pie too. He looked up the inside there. He's looking up the inside again through the braking zone, seeing if he can make something happen, but it doesn't look like it. He's actually going to have to fight for this one. Missed your opportunity there. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to come.
I've been keeping an eye on this battle a little bit, and it's been over the course of a couple laps. It looked like Russ was almost going to have Bellinger on the back straight there when he dipped the tire into the gravel, but as we saw, he kept it ahead, and now he's pushing it from more places.
I'm taking a look at Fimbres Casas here, who has put on a dominating show here, passing one of the back markers. Looks like possibly Dahey in the 92, as he makes the pass nice and clean. Dahey gives him the position, but Fimbres Casas has a 2.5 second gap to the car behind, which is Riley. These two Hondas putting it out front and keeping it out front. They've actually built more of a gap to Matt Lehman, who is 10.4 seconds back, which is absolutely insane. Not something I would have expected I would have assumed that Matt Lehman, he may not have had the qualifying, but he always has the race pace. Definitely interesting. Still, like I said, relatively early in this race, 39 minutes left, and who knows what's going to happen in the pit lane. One of these drivers in the top here could have a bad pit, bad exit out of pit, maybe get caught up in traffic, and give Matt Lehman another chance.
Definitely. As the pip catches on board, that's T. Robinson on the back of Matt Lehman as Vicini goes off.
See if I can catch that. Looks like he makes it through the corkscrew all right.
Flick back to the left is deadly, especially as it double sets there coming towards the bottom. No, makes it through.
Just catches some dirt on the outside there, and what might have been a savable situation at another track sends him skirting right off. Luckily, no damage to the car, makes it back on track nice and safe, but falls back to 21st position. He's going to have a lot of positions to make up. He's probably raging right now, as I would be. But keep your head down, keep on going. Like I said, a lot of time left in this race, still the pit stop to come. So we're going to definitely want to be keeping an eye on where he ends up at the end here, as it looks like another driver was having some trouble there.
And Madiak dropped 5 places.
Oh, no. Yep, I was definitely calling there.
There's a nice little fight between Quigg, Schwartz, Krieger, Stefiak, and Funk. They're fighting back and forth. We'll keep an eye on that as that battle progresses.
Duran is steadily working himself up lap by lap. He's getting on the back of Daehee Yun here. He's looking all right. He's 0.8 second gap. Once again, we'll have to tune in later to see what he's doing. But made himself up to 33rd place. Not too bad. And we're going to take another look at this train that we've been taking a look at through a lot of this race here. Bellinger, Rust, Durrance, and Warden all in a good little train here. Just keeping it behind keeping it behind each other, keeping it nice and safe, nice and smooth. All these drivers have, or rather, the gap to Bellinger, Rust, and Durrance is less than half a second. And actually, Warden closes that gap to less than half a second as well, as he gets on the back bumper of Durrance, looking inside to see if he can make something happen, but he's going to have to go through the corkscrew single file, unless he's a crazy man.
The safe way.
Yep.
If you want to see some unsafe corkscrew action, Stefiak, Krieger, and Funk are currently in a little three-way push fight over here. Down in 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Stefiak gets a little bit of a bad line there, but Funk, or who's that? Krieger actually gets a very bad exit there and has to concede the position. Funk actually comes ahead there, passes Stefiak and Krieger.
I have to say it because it just happened, and through goes Hamilton. Two-ahead fight.
All right, looks like a lot of people in the mid-pack have started to group up a little bit. Taking a look at Schwartz, the other pink Porsche, Quigg, and Douglas Mitchell, all pretty close gap to each other. I'm actually going to hop on with Quigg here. Take a look at this bumper cam as they go through the corkscrew. The most interesting part of this track here is Douglas Mitchell defends. Make sure that Quigg can't get on the inside of him. He knows that Quigg is very fast. So he's definitely checking his mirrors, making sure to cover his line. Quigg, who is a championship contender here is probably feeling a little bit out of position and trying to make up some places. Oh, it looks like we... Oh, no. Pits have opened, by the way,
Yes, sir.
as the first drivers hop into pits.
Looks like we got Durant's, Rust, Flinsing, Jeffries, and Schwartz all in the pits at the moment. Everyone taking their liter of fuel. Let's see if anybody's taking tires. Doesn't look like it.
We're going to have to take a look at the McLaren drivers and what they're doing with tires, because the McLaren drivers were definitely complaining a lot about their stability on this track, and a lot of them are going to be running more toe to try to compensate for that, get the car a little bit more stable. It's a slower setup, but something that keeps the car in a straight line. It also eats tires up. So we're going to take a good look at Mr. Mitchell here and Matt Lehman, Bako, Victor Diaz, and Latufo to see what they're going to do. And you know what McLaren driver I'm not seeing on this list here? Tyler
Who's that?
James.
Oh yeah, I think he was the one, another one that that had backed out a little bit earlier. I think we've lost 3 guys to DNF being pissed off.
Well, that does happen. This is very, very tough. But as Jay Riley actually catches back up to Fambers Costas, only a 0.6 second gap. I wonder what happened to Fambers Costas. I wonder if he had a little bit of off track there, or maybe got stuck up with some traffic. As Lehman and Robinson throw a yellow flag here, I'm not sure what happened.
Touched going into the corkscrew, and they both went ping pong.
Ooh, yep. I caught it there on the replay. Matt Lehman does a little spin there, but he gets it back on track.
Oh, Tyler had connection. Thank you, chat. I don't have salmonella. Thanks. Cool name.
As we see a driver exiting the pit here, a Ferrari, as these 2 fast drivers try to navigate the person coming out there. And it looks like Robinson conceded that position back to Matt Lehman. The respectful thing to do. As Colin Matyak heads into the pits.
Everyone hasn't gone through the pits yet, have they?
No. There's
Oh.
6 minutes left in the pit window, as everyone with a gold 1 next to their driver number has not pitted yet, not completed their 1 mandatory pit stop, and everyone who has a green box in place of that yellow 1 has pitted already. So the pits here at SRA, there's no tire requirement, and there's no you have to take at least 1 liter of fuel, and that is the only pit requirement. So most drivers elect to splash and dash. Every once in a while, someone will try to get a little tricky and see what they can do with the strategy of taking tires. We saw some people do it at Silverstone and actually make up good time. But generally, with such a short race of only an hour long, people elect not to take tires. But by the end of the hour, you're definitely thinking, maybe I should have. But it is generally the faster and more accepted way to not take them.
Depends on how the race is feeling. All depends, right?
Yeah, all depends on your car. If you've had any spins, accidents, anything like that, it might be worth taking tires. If you got a flat spot on your tire or You wore him out a little bit, drifting or spinning. You may just say, all right, just take tires, see what I can do, be stable for the rest of the race, not try to fight the car. As speaking of stable and fighting a car, who is that into a wall?
That is the replay of Riley, who unfortunately had some oversteer in, I believe that's turn 4.
That is very unfortunate. Fingers crossed has completed his pit, and so has Riley. So this is devastating for him. He may want to go back into the pits depending on how much damage this is. Matt Lehman, looking at you, buddy. This might be your chance. Take a look.
Certainly his opportunity to try and make up some ground here. He's got 17 seconds behind him. He's definitely going to lose that in the pits. If we look at the average time in the pits is looking to be about 40 seconds.
And Bellinger and Durrance, who have a 0.2 second gap to each other, just pass a blue flag. Both of them have completed their pit stops. These are two drivers we've been taking a close look at today. Both very fast and have been in a train on each other's bumpers all race long.
They have, and to disturb that battle by that 40-second marker, Lehman should come out right around them.
Uh-oh.
That'll spice things up even more.
Two minutes and 50 seconds left of the pit window. Anyone who hasn't taken their pit yet is going to be looking to take it right now, as it only appears that 6 drivers have not done their pit. Definitely interesting. A lot of people just elected to pit early or in the middle as Travis Nordstrom completes his pit stop. Take a look. Where's some other good close gaps around here? Actually, I'm going to stay on board because this battle is still pretty juicy. I'd love to see Durrance make a move here. As he's looking up the inside just a little bit. Getting some vision on the track. Brakes early, nice and respectfully. Looks around on the outside. Comes inside again. Can't set up any moves. Ooh. Bellinger goes out and back in. Not much he can do. Stuck like glue to the back of his bumper. Both drivers covering their lines, keeping it very respectful. Oh, as Durrance looks at the inside, but Bellinger covers his line again. There's nothing that he can do.
A tough fight. Looking through the mid-pack of the field to find myself the podium of the silver class right now. We have Schwartz currently in first place, sitting in 13th. Brooker Quigg right on his tail, who is a gold-rated driver. Chris Stefiak in second, 6 seconds back of Brooker Quigg, and Mr. Funk right behind him. Jeffrey's right on the back of him as well. They actually all pitted together, those 3. So there's still a little bit of fighting in the silver class to go for their podium. Actually, the 2nd through 6th are all relatively close to each other. So, quite a lot of fighting. Quite a lot of positions to be made up here still. 25 minutes left. A lot can happen.
Looking around, is there any... Oh, Fingers Crossed with the yellow flag as he is around. Let's take a look at what happened here.
Oh.
This is big. This is big. As he loses the position, as he loses 2 positions, Nordstrom and Riley pass him both. He just gets a little bit loose and spins around there. Seems to make it back on track safe, but he has to concede those positions as he goes back on. Fingers Crossed, he's going to be driving angry here. He wants that position back. First place all the way until 24 minutes left in the race. He's going to be hungry. Hopefully he didn't wear out his tires in the beginning there, and that might have been what caused him to slide there. But let's let's see if he can spice things up a little bit here. As we saw, Riley does have some damage that could play some factor into it. As we see the 3 Hondas all back up top there, Matt Lehman has closed that massive gap to only 2 seconds. See, this is what I was saying. That pit window can really shake things up for some people. And Matt Lehman has capitalized very well off of this, even though he had a little incident there at the corkscrew with Robinson.
Definitely, it's once again a battle of attrition and keeping yourself consistent to your lines, because you never know who's going to make a mistake in front of you, as we just saw. And thankfully, for Fimbriscaso's sake, he's still only just outside a second behind Nordstrom, who's inside a second on Riley, so he still has a chance here without having to fight through a lot of the grid. But now he does have to worry about Matt Lehman being right behind him.
Tuning back into this battle of Bellinger, Durance, and Rust. It looks like Rust has joined the party as well. All these drivers less than a second gap of each other. Is Rust? No! Oh my gosh, as he looks at the inside, misses his braking mark, takes Durance out. Rust.
Oh no.
He's got to be hanging his head in shame right now as a bunch of drivers get past him. Oh man, that was brutal. It looks like Durance didn't come out too bad from all that, though. He lost about 5 or 6 seconds off of Bellinger. Hopefully he can make that up, because that was a very interesting fight. But he still has a 1.2 gap to the driver behind as Rust falls back with his teammate here. Both of the blind hen Porsches of Rust and Quig together once again.
And just having a peek over at the YouTube chat, pointed out to me by Mr. Sarvarius. Mr. and Mrs. They, Them, Sarvarius. Doug, top 10. Let's go. Keep it up, buddy.
Hey, there you go.
Happened to be fortunate through the mistakes there in the corkscrew, made up a few positions, and he's got a little bit of a train behind him, but see what he can do.
Douglas Mitchell, as we know, he thrives with a train behind him. He is the resident defense master, and he specializes in being able to keep it fast and keep the cars behind him. As we see, Fimbriscasos here with a 0.5 second gap to Nordstrom ahead. He's made up that gap there. Looking to hunt him down, see if he can regain that top position back. Nordstrom falling back to Riley just a little bit, defending, looking in his mirrors, getting a little nervous. .3 second gap now. Fimbriscasos is definitely closing it up. This Honda is just looking absolutely dominating here today.
And as we're watching that one, there's a little battle between battle for P10 with Dad Doug and Mr. Schwartz. Doug has not given up that P10 spot. He's fought for that, and he wants to keep it.
I'm going to actually tune in to that so we can watch that here. As the picture-in-picture.
Catches a... Yeah, this is a replay of a... I'm not sure what to call this kind of error. Vicini was just daydreaming a little bit and got caught off on the sand in the straightaway and fell victim to, well, a Tuscan Raider, I guess.
Very unfortunate for him.
I'm not going to do the scream. Don't worry. I'll save that for Doug in his celebratory interview after the race if he holds on to this top 10.
As you say that, oh no, he gets a little bit loose and touches doors with Schwartz here as all three drivers bunch up here. Quig, Schwartz, and Mitchell. As it looks like Schwartz is going to take this on the inside here, but can Mitchell get a good run out of here to try to get that position back? Doesn't look like it, as Quig is looking to take that position too. Like I said before, on this T1, you can take two lines here and still come out on top. Can Doug stick it on the outside as looks like that blind hen car of Quig goes a little bit wide, but there's nothing Doug can do. Now he's under pressure from Rust, trying to take that position there too. Let's take a look at that. Only 0.2 seconds back. Come on, Doug. We're all rooting for you up here.
This is quite the battle, and I'm sure he's just sitting there in that Sith Racing Alliance McLaren thinking, I'm surrounded by clones. What do I do?
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered. I'm outmanned. I don't have a teammate. But it's a little bit of put your head down, keep racing. You see he's starting to pull away from Rust a little bit to a bit of a safer distance. He's not parked up in his trunk anymore. Find your ground and see what you can do. Bring her home. Come on, Doug.
It's a Porsche, so it's a Frunk.
Okay.
Frunk.
All right.
Frunk. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What's it called normally? A runk?
No.
At the grocery guy, drunk. Oh wait, no, that's wrong.
Excuse?
And
down
it
the
looks like
inside.
Doug is just, he loses that position there. That's unfortunate. Douglas Mitchell in P13. We were just hyping him up too much.
A little bit of commentator's curse, I guess.
Doug, when you're watching this one back, I'm sorry, buddy.
Or are we?
No, I'm not sorry, actually. I lied.
Cue the dramatic keyboard. Dun dun dun.
We need a, for next race, maybe a Doug cam. Put it in the top left or something. Just on Doug the whole time so we can get commentator's curse 24/7.
They have that. It's called the pip.
Well, we need a second pip. Mike, you might have to be in control of the Doug cam.
All right, I can work with the Doug cam.
All right, we'll work something out.
And while we were talking about our grand plans for the Doug cam, we had some multiple spins in multiple directions. It looked like Robinson and Robinson and Rust looked like.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry, that was Stefiak that spun. Lost two places.
Well, Stefiak is parked right in front of Vicini here, who is looking left, looking right, trying to see where he can send it in. 0.2 or 0.1 seconds behind. He's following very close. He's going to be looking to make a move here on this hard braking section as he catches that curb, drips it outside. Now he's under intense pressure from Josh Arnold. Is he going to make a good exit here as he has to hug inside line? Josh Arnold has to catch the curb a little bit, but he's got that Audi power. More power, baby. And he's trying to charge through there and make up some time. And he puts it next to his quarter here. Not enough to do too much. But very close battle here. Josh Arnold only 0.4 seconds back from Vicini. And Vicini has dropped to 1.2 seconds back from Stefiak.
Looking back up the field, the pip catches Fimbres Casas right on the back of Nordstrom here for P2, who's fallen a little bit adrift to Riley. I guess that damage in the front isn't causing him too much of a hassle. He's still lapping about 6/10 faster than these two, and pulling up to a 3-second gap now for the lead.
Oh,
another yellow flag.
That was interesting. I guess there was a little bit of lag there. Caught in the picture-in-picture. Looked like they were drifting. But yellow flag.
Possibly.
I don't see it. Victor Diaz with a 0.1 second gap to the car in front. Jose Toledo in a BMW. Now dropping back to 0.5 second gap. I saw that you had him up in the picture-in-picture just a minute ago. He's been battling out with Toledo for a while here. Jose Toledo, who was one of our, at the time was called Amateur Division, but now called Division 2, one of our top drivers in there, always competing for a win every single week. So they said, move him up to D1, and here he is, competing with a D1 veteran here. Victor Diaz has been with us since Season 1, and is always hanging around the Discord, helping new drivers out, helping other people out in that nice chrome shiny Vodafone McLaren. Now with a 0.4 second gap to Toledo. As he's unable to make any gains here. Now falling back to 0.5 seconds as we see Allen in the middle of the track with a yellow flag. Let's see if we can catch what happened there. Looks like everyone got around him just fine. He just got a little bit of slap in him and, yep, lost it on the corner there. That's pretty tough. Luckily, everyone made it by him okay, and he made it back on the track okay, it appears. But Allen not having the best race here in 31st position. He's got a big gap to the car in front and a big gap to the car behind. But 14 minutes left of the race. Keep your head down and see if you can try to make a position or two. If you can keep it consistent around here, that's one of the biggest things. Not getting those little spins and incidences could net you a whole lot of positions, as we've seen quite a few people all up and down the grid trading positions and making spins as Vicini and Stefiak are battling it out. Vicini catching back up to Stefiak. They have a 0.2 second gap. They were just traded positions there and traded right back. But Vicini and Stefiak have been duking it out for a while here as Josh Arnold 0.3 seconds back and Evan Kim 0.4 seconds back as they go side by side. Vicini and Stefiak side by side on this long straightaway here. Going into the kink, what's going to happen as they bump quarters a little bit? Stefiak has to back out through the kink and Vicini comes ahead. That was insane racing right there. Great job. As Evan Kim side by side with Josh Arnold going into the corkscrew. He's going to take that inside line. He has to concede the outside there, and that may not be the best move always, but he makes it happen. Sticks it in front of Josh Arnold there, and looks like Evan Kim's livery is one of the ones that has been lost to the bin of my computer. I have no idea why. That we don't see that beautiful BBC livery, sponsored by Magnum Condoms.
Need to have a little bit of BBC in your life.
Always need to have a little bit of BBC in your life. Speaking of BBC, let's take a check in on Matt Morrison. Looks like he's not having the best race, but if you want to take a look at what his beautiful livery looks like, here it is. Appearing on Matt's car, but not on Evan Kim's car. He's in the back in 35th right now, unfortunately. Hopping back up with Arnold and Kim here. Josh Arnold only 0.6 seconds back from Evan Kim. He's going to try to see if he can make that position back up. Stefiak still very close to Evan Kim as he's trying to hunt them down. Vicini putting a 1 second gap in front of Stefiak. Really good showing from him. But he has a long ways to go. A 7.2 second gap to the car in front, which is Anderson. So we'll see if in 11 minutes he can make that up. It's not unheard of.
Everyone's cutting down their gaps up and down the grid. Femmers Cass has actually passed Nordstrom a lap ago and is now cutting down the gap to Riley right now. He's sitting about 2.5, 2.3.
With 11 minutes to go, he very well could make that work.
He's
starting a lap faster than him as well since he's been released, about half a second faster.
.4 second gap between Evan Kim and Josh Arnold here. Two extraordinarily fast drivers. And 0.2 second gap Evan Kim has to Chris Stefiak in front. A great little train going on here. Wonderful battle as they all try to catch up to Vicini. And he's pulling away, tapping his heels, saying, "You guys battle it out back there. Have fun. I'm going to continue to increase my gap." Now pulling away with a 1.5 second gap in front of the drivers behind. Looking really good. Actually, yeah, 1.5 seconds.
Pip is currently looking at Funk and Jeffries, who have held on to the second and third position silver classification and are still battling it out towards the end of the lap here. I think we just saw Doug touch a little bit of dirt there just ahead of him. Another 3-car battle. Let's go. If there's one thing Laguna has done, it has provided a lot of good racing.
As Evan has a run on Stefiak here, unable to make anything happen because Stefiak does some great defense and covers his line, and unfortunately loses a little bit of time to Josh Arnold behind as they continue to just keep it nice in a straight line with each other, going through this straight section here, coming into the carousel. On the bumper cam, this bumper cam is looking wonderful through here. Oh, as Chris Stefiak gets a little bit loose there, and Evan Kim makes the pass. We're going to actually take a look back at that.
I believe Evan made contact with him under braking there. I'm not too sure.
No, not under braking, but through the what do you call it? The corkscrew. Looks like that Porsche got a little bit loose, and Evan Kim had nowhere to go and just gave him a little tap in behind, as we can see in the picture, and Audi hitting one of those sausage curbs and falling behind as well. So a lot of interesting things happening up and down the track here. Warden with a 0.4 second gap to Lehman. Lehman, who's in 4th place right now, with the entente of Hondas in front. A 2.2 second gap to those folks. But he's dealing with Warden right now, and that gap may actually increase as he is trying to defend here. As we were saying before, that Mercedes has the real-life lap record here. Ooh, as he pinches him on the inside, gives Warden really nowhere to go. As Warden has to fall back there. I don't know about that one.
Ooh.
But Warden still with a 0.6 second gap. He can definitely make something happen still. Matt Lehman increases his gap to 3.3 seconds to the cars in front. He sees him. Up ahead though, so he may still have a chance at them. There's also a blue flag in front of them, so that may shake things up as well. Warden's gap increasing to 0.7 seconds now.
For the stats nerds out there, solidifying the whole you can draft from SRA fact, everybody up to and include up to wow, almost the entire field has a fastest lap in the race that is faster than the lap record here, than the race lap record here.
Like I said, GT World Series, GT World Championship, just ditch it. You know, it's just, you're just wasting time at this point. Staying with the drivers you have, come in to Sim Racing Alliance so we can show you how it's done, and so you can finally recruit from the best of the best.
We've got it.
We'll show you boys how to race.
Looks like Matt Lehman is going to have to navigate this blue flag in front of him. Hopefully this blue flag lets him by nice and clean. But this definitely hinders Lehman's chance of being able to catch up to those Hondas in front, as it doesn't look like this blue flag is really conceding this position until he has to. At SRA, we have a bit of an interesting blue flag rule where it looks like he's turned on his hazards and he's trying to let him by. But now he's holding up Warden. Very unfortunate Warden, who is trying to chase down Lehman as he gets out of the way. There we go. But at SRA, blue flags have 1 lap to let the faster car in front of them. a little bit of a combination of the GT series and Formula style racing. And this seems to work quite well for us. Warden still hanging on to a 0.8, 0.7 second gap as Robinson is side by side with Bellinger. Oh my goodness. As Robinson can't make anything happen there, increasing that gap to 0.2 seconds. But some great racing from these two all night long. Bellinger, who's just been putting on an absolute wonderful show this entire season. I hope that he can win a race here or get a podium so we can have him up in the booth and get his side of the story, because he's a driver that we've been looking at all season long.
Well, looking back at the podium, Fimbres Casas has found the back door of James Riley and is pushing him at the moment with a 0.5 second gap.
There's only 3 minutes, 40 seconds left of this race, so everyone's pushing with all they have as Robinson, unfortunately, catches some curb on that, the carousel, the corkscrew, and loses some time to Bellinger ahead. So that may be that battle done with there. But cleansing Matt, oh my goodness, what is happening here?
Oh, God. Oh my God.
Okay. Well, we're just seeing some glitching happening here. I'm not sure what's up with that. Very interesting.
SRA, we're fast and we're also talented, kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Huh.
We drift and we race.
Yeah. Hey, if you're a drift championship looking for some drivers, come here as well. Any and all leagues or racing series welcome. If you want the best of the best drivers, come here. As we just saw Taylor Carter, unfortunately, have a little bit of an incident there and made it back on track safe, but he's fallen back to 27th position. Victor Diaz, unfortunately, couldn't get that battle with Toledo and has fallen back from him. Patrick Rust in 12th position is looking at Schwartz ahead of him, only 0.2 second gap. These two Porsches have been duking it out for a long time here. And Matt Schwartz is in a blind hen racing sandwich a little bit here. A 5 second gap to Quigg ahead, but still. Taking a look up at Robinson, has actually gained that time back, 0.3 seconds back from Bellinger. Let's watch him through this couple corners here as we only have a minute 30 seconds left of this race. Any drivers who are out there now looking at a position, you better push now. As Bellinger loses the back end a little bit, and that Porsche of Robinson pushes him out. Robinson leaving the position to him, doing the respectful thing. Robinson actually just saying, you know what, I'm not losing this race. If you're going to take that long to get back on track, I'm going. Robinson, unfortunately, falling back to 9th position and Bellinger to 10th. Yeah, there's not much you can do in that situation. Robinson tried to concede the position, but when you're in a situation like that, only 54 seconds till the end of this race, you just got to keep pushing. But I just got word that leader is on the final lap, and our leader right now is Jay Riley in the Honda, with Fimbres Casas only 0.7 seconds back. So we're going to tune into this for this final lap here, as two Porsches on the same team. Looks like Dahey and his teammate make a little bit of contact in the back as these faster drivers navigate themselves through. Fimbres Casas has got to make his move now. This only one lap to do it, as all these drivers are pulling off to the side and letting the faster ones through. They know that these people are hungry for the win here, as Fimbres Casas unfortunately gets a little bit loose with it and it hits some of the gravel. Yep, 0.7 seconds back. Nordstrom, I'm not sure what happened there.
Picture replay right now. All oversteer in turn 4 and into the wall.
Man, those last lap jitters trying to get to that finish line unfortunately got him. He was running a great race all day. 0.3, 0.2 seconds back from Riley as we come into the last couple of corners here. Will he get it done? He's got to send it in. If he's going to get something done, he's got to send it in. But he takes the outside line, tries to switch back him a little bit, see if he can get a better run. But there's just no way it's going to happen. And your race winner is Jay Riley. P2, Fimbres Casas. Great race from these two. As Matt Lehman is coming on the final couple of corners, navigating a blue flag with Warden right behind him. Matt Lehman and Warden in 3 and 4 right there. As we see Durant's come across the line, picking up a P4 or P5. Cleansing coming across the line. Nordstrom coming across the line. Our scoring is kind of messing up here. Very interesting.
I don't know what's going on. I wonder if hope the server's okay.
Yeah, a little strange here. I'm not going to be able to make position call-outs. If you want to know the final results of this race, join our Discord server. You can see at the top right there, Sim Racing Alliance, discord.gg/Sim Racing Alliance. As we're watching the last couple drivers come along here. Evan Kim making himself through the last corner here, putting himself in 18th, 7th, 6th, 13th? Who knows?
He's finishing the race.
He finished the race.
Good job, buddy.
And it looks like most of the drivers have finished the race while I was distracted by our scoring having a little bit of a seizure.
We did lose a few others towards the end there. I noticed with a few laps to go, Colin Matiak came into the pits. I wonder if it was a fuel miscalculation on his part. But at that point, we were at 35 drivers, so down about 6 people through the course of the race. The track does eat you alive, especially if you're not perfect or close to. But I think a lot of this grid made the absolute most out of what they could have tonight. A lot of close battling all the way through, smart pit stops. For the most part, safe overtaking decisions, a little bit of unfortunate exit mishaps, but a great race this week.
All right, I'm gonna try to see if we can get this Skype going here. I'm gonna start this call. Hopefully, this doesn't get all weird. If you guys can try to join that here, as we're gonna be looking for our top drivers. Top drivers from our silver division and top drivers from the gold division. We want Riley, Casas, and Lehman. And from our silver division, we want Schwartz, Funk, and I believe Arnold. But people are leaving the server, making this way more difficult than it needs to be. So if someone caught who that last silver driver was, that would be nice.
I did not. Because I already see Doug up here. Doug, great drive today. Saw you fighting up there for a P10 position for quite a while. Fallen after being surrounded by a few clones. What was it like?
It was the battle of the trenches. I was in a place I did not belong. They were ready to pass me at any waking second. But yeah, I came up here to help you guys find some people to interview. But that being said, that was a tough race. I was white knuckled the whole time. Laguna Seca has all those such curbs, and I did manage to hit one at the very last bit of the race, but I survived nonetheless.
Yeah, we were watching you good little bit there during the race, and you were looking really good. Yeah, you had that 10th position, and then unfortunately lost a little bit to the sea of Porsches there. But yeah, very, very impressive race from you. And we were talking with you earlier, and you were saying that you were not exactly the most confident in your car today. So really good job for someone who didn't think too much of their car and didn't really get too much practice in either. So
yeah, I appreciate that, guys, and many thanks to all those Porsches passing me cleanly. They just snuck up the inside, and at that point, I was like, yeah, they're like a second a lap faster than me. Let them have their fun. I was done conducting the train that was otherwise occupied for probably 75% of the race. But well, let's see if we can get some other people to interview in here. I see Matt Lehman. You guys want to interview him?
yeah, sure. Hey, Mike, can you turn on your camera, please?
Yeah, I was just trying to get it going this whole time. Sorry about that.
There's Matt Lehman for you, fellas.
Mr. Lehman. What a race out there.
Yes. It was really tough. It was really, really tough. I think P3 is about all I could hope for, and definitely took a bit of luck to even get that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of hard fighting. You were fighting quite a large gap out there, and then we saw Fimbres Cassis unfortunately spin out towards the end. Seemed like you kind of smelled blood a little bit, pulled the gap down, and held on to it for a little.
Yeah, towards the closing laps there, I was about to lose fourth place to Andrew Borden too. Like, I was struggling with pace like throughout the whole race, but like especially towards the latter half, like tires were done. I had a little bit of damage as well from an earlier spin, so that definitely didn't help. But yeah, I think it was Nordstrom, right, who spun out a third on the last lap.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate, man. Like really hated for him. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be on the podium, like I'm very happy with the end result. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And not be upset with that one.
And we saw that that Mercedes on your tail for quite a bit there, and you on the last lap in the last corners having to navigate some blue flags there. I thought that was pretty interesting. I personally thought that they were gonna take that. He was gonna try to capitalize on that and take that position away from you, but didn't get anything done. Both you and the two race leaders, Fimbres Casas and Riley, were both extraordinarily close coming into that last corner. You guys both had a 0.2 second gap to the car behind, so very interesting finish for the top people here in Division 1, and really a great race from you the whole time. Those Hondas just absolutely dominated today, so yeah. How'd you feel about the car? I heard a lot of people complaining about the McLaren quite a bit, so did you feel it was really flighty, or like where was the biggest trouble spot for you?
The biggest trouble spot, everywhere, honestly. McLaren's not the strongest car. Like at the start of the race, I could kind of be competitive enough with the front guys, but you know, after 5, 6, 7 or so laps, like I could feel it gradually start to fall off. And you know, the two Hondas like ahead, they were able to pull like, you know, half a second on me per lap. So yeah, and it just got worse and worse from there.
Well, it was a great race, Mr. Lehman, and you seem to be a regular up here, and we hope to see you up here again next week. What do we have next week again?
Paul Ricard at night.
Paul Ricard
Oh,
at
great.
night. So
Yeah, you might not see me up there.
we'll see. We'll see. We know that you're one of the fast boys here, and you always put on a good show for us. So yeah, I'm just gonna say it now. I'll see you up here next week.
Well, I hope so too, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lehman.
All right, thanks, guys.
We got James Riley up here, our big winner. Mr. Riley, how you feeling, sir?
Pretty good. That was a hard-fought race. I was really thankful that I took the time to do the practice race this week because it really showed the weaknesses of the Honda here, despite its rapid pace, its OP pace, if I may.
The Hondas were looking really good today. How did you how did you feel swinging it by Mr. Fimbres Casas in the race?
You know, it was so sad to see because I almost spun in the exact same place earlier in the race when he ended up getting like 6 seconds on me or something like that. So I felt his pain. I watched the replay just now, and I saw that he dropped a tire in the sand. So that's sad. I had like some 4-wheel slide in the corner there, so I ended up just starting to give time away in that corner there just to try to make the race.
Yeah, this track, as we were talking about during the stream, is very, very unforgiving. If you get even one tire out in that sand, there's a good chance you're going around. You know, other tracks you definitely don't want to do that either, but this one is just particularly bad. I thought I saw you make some contact with the wall there.
Oh, I did. 10 seconds of damage. It was right on my outlap, and I didn't change the tires. I planned to change the tires today because of the practice race, But then I just took half fuel and I went to see how that went, and then the tires felt good enough to try to go. And then I just kind of got a little greedy with the throttle, and it was it seemed like they were warm enough and the pressure was high enough, but that was not the case. So I found the wall, got 10 seconds of damage, and I was like, oh well, let me try not to
Well,
do any more damage to myself.
how do you think that damage affected your race?
It was just cosmetic. ACC Drive told me it was just cosmetic. So,
Okay.
I don't think it affected it at all. Maybe straight line speed, but honestly, I was kind of driving to a delta there at the end of the race. I was happy to give away time and battle at the end because I know how hard it is to pass here.
All right. That was a really good showing from you today. Is this, believe that this is your first win this season and your first win here at SRA, I believe. Am I correct in saying that?
A first win this season in the GT Team Series, but Felipe and I actually won the SRA endurance race at Coda this
okay.
weekend as well in the Ferrari.
There you go.
Well,
Well done.
Yeah, congratulations. An absolutely dominating race today. We hope to see you and some of the other Hondas up here next week. Paul Ricard in the night. So we'll see how you guys do around there. Looking to get some more differing people up here. We've had Matt Lehman up here, maybe a little bit too much. So,
Yeah.
but as I said before, Matt Lehman, I'll see you up here next week. But I want to see you and some of the other Hondas compete to try to knock them out of that spot.
Well, yeah, thanks for the opportunity, and I really love what you guys do here. It's a lot of fun, so thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
I know, man. Good job.
Mr. Fimbres Casas, welcome to the broadcast booth here. We were watching you all race here. You were putting on a very dominating show until you had that little bit of a spin and you fell back into P2 there and were knocking on the back door of Riley the whole time. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I think the race start, I was kind of out of it, to be honest. I couldn't really concentrate. And then I was just making stupid mistakes, to be honest. And that's what happened with that little spin. I made a stupid mistake, car spun. I got it on again, and then when I made the spin to get it on the track, it stalled. So that's why I lost the positions, and I was back down to P3 and I had to catch up again.
Yeah, that we saw that, we caught that in the replay, and that was definitely an unfortunate little spin there. You had quite a big gap on P2 and P3 there, and unfortunately had to work yourself back up, and even down to the wire on the last lap, you and Riley were battling it out. That was just some amazing racing. I believe that's the best spot for the lead in the last lap that we've had here this season and in recent memory. You guys were going at it like crazy. I didn't really know who to root for, but I was just rooting for some good racing and some side-by-side action with you guys and some more trades for the lead, and we definitely got that today.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely got into a rhythm after my little incident. Like I think that was like a wake up call per
Mhm.
se. So I definitely got into a rhythm, and then I overtook I think Nordstrom
Mhm.
down at the corkscrew. That was, I don't know, I made that move, to be honest, but I took it. I saw the opportunity. I'm like, all right, excuse me. And then I don't know. I just got into the rhythm. I started catching up. And I was like, well, maybe I have a chance for P1. But I mean, this is Laguna Seca, so it's really hard to overtake. So I was just, to be honest, I just wanted like to maintain a lot of pressure to see if he cracked, but he didn't. He kept the position. He kept on driving well. So it was a really good race. I did enjoy that battle, to be honest. It was really good.
And he also did that with damage as well. He says it was only cosmetic, 10 seconds worth of it, but he put on a really, really good show. And I hope to see both of you guys up here in the booth more often because when you guys are up there, it makes for a much more interesting race. Definitely putting Matt Lehman in check, making sure he doesn't run away with too many of these races.
Yes, definitely. I hope so. I hope for the rest of the season this is the kind of result I'll get, hopefully. Because I've been getting I mean I've had the pace the last few rounds, but I just make well, except Silverstone because the NSX is just I don't know. The BOP is really bad for it there, but it's I've just done stupid mistakes and I mean I've sort of kind of fixed them. I mean ignoring the one I had today, but I mean as things are looking, I mean I've been going up, so hopefully, like this is the sort of result I'll be getting, in the future.
All right. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you up here again. Um, and we have Paul Ricard in the night, so you're gonna have to get some practicing going on there, and we hope to see you on track soon.
Alrighty, thank you for having me. Have yourself a good night, guys.
You too. Thank you.
You too, man.
Alrighty,
Thanks,
bye
man.
bye. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any of the Division 1 silver drivers that can come up here? Do we know who was the winners from that?
I do not remember offhand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We need to write this stuff down as soon as we do it. This is the problem here. Um,
I was
The only
freeze
one
in
I
the
do remember
Discord.
was Funk, who I do not see in a voice channel.
Yeah, I freeze the Discord, and none of them want to be make themselves available. So the silver drivers are silently celebrating with many bottles of champagne, I imagine.
all right. Well, that's very
Definitely.
good. I would be too. um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in here. Let's take a quick look at the rest of the schedule here for season 3. So we just got through Laguna Seca, going into week 6. Paul Ricard in the night. Week 7, Hungaroring in the wet, and then we have 1 week break, and after that is Mount Panorama. That's going to be a very interesting one. We're going to see how that one goes, but if you want to tune in for a race, that's the one you tune in for because it's going to be a bit of a slaughterhouse. So we also, if anyone is not in the league here and watching, we run quite a bit of stuff going on here at SRA. Always something going on. We have our practice races for our championship series on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday are our Division 1, 2, and 3 racing. Thursday or Friday, we have a coaching night. So if you're a newer driver and maybe not sure if league racing is for you, you can just hop in here and go into the coaching session and give it a try and learn how to get faster. And you can also tune in for our exhibition races where it's just the boys hanging out. We do GT4 races and cup car races at random tracks, and we have a lot of fun. Always something going on here at SRA. You should go into the description and go to simracingalliance.com or discord.gg/simracingalliance and join us today. We're one of the friendliest leagues around. We focus on community and developing newer drivers to help them come up to pace and have a great time racing with us. And it's a really fun time. So I highly encourage you click on that link and make sure to tune in tomorrow for our Division 2 and 3 races. Our Division 2 race is going to be held here on YouTube, and our Division 3 race is going to be held on Twitch. So if you want to tune in for another good time and you enjoyed the stream today, once again, I highly encourage you to go watch those. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah. Josh, any
Been a slice.
any final words from you guys?
It's always a good showing coming to Laguna, and it was quite a race to see what those D1 drivers can do. I know these two and myself are all excited to do it tomorrow.
Hell
And
yeah.
hope everyone who came out tonight's willing and able to come out and show us some love tomorrow, because we're gonna need it.
Gonna be a good one tomorrow, definitely. Definitely.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
Thanks, folks. Bye bye.
See you later.